What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the Triple H podcast happy hour. Hoops, Steve, Jake, and myself back for another episode of the Triple H podcast presented by Trainwreck Sports. And fellas, we are inching closer to the NBA season, but before we get into anything, guys, Jason Tatum may just be a cyborg. All summer, I was glum. I was sad about my Celtics. And then this week, just all the glowing reports you can get for a guy who tore his Achilles. Went on First Take, talked with Stephen A. Smith, even stopped Stephen A. Smith to say that he never said himself that he's not going to play next season. So I am all but delusional. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good, man. Well, I'm excited. We had some off-season shows. This is our first really preview show. Luka's skinny, Zion skinny. The NBA is all the way back. All the hype's building. All the storylines are coming out now. So I can't wait to talk some hoops because before you know it, man, we're going to be actually watching some basketball, and it's crazy how quickly this has snuck up on us.
Luka and Zion both being skinny was not on my bingo card.
The summer of
Zion
Ozempic.
yesterday was like a jump scare, bro. He looked like a different person.
Yeah, it looked like someone playing Zion in a movie.
Yo, for real.
A much skinnier guy.
Not wrong.
But yeah, I gotta just spend a minute or two here about the C's or not even just the C's, just Tatum. Like I don't know if I had just kind of put the Celtics stuff on the back burner for the summer, just the way last season ended and the hopes and all that stuff. But between, Mazzulla kind of having good things to say, the surgeon who's basically like the guy for Achilles injuries, all the doctors that Tatum's seen, like everyone just can't believe how fast he's recovering, and him just not admitting that he won't play next season, or at least not ready to say that, and then said, I'm not rehabbing 6 days a week for nothing. So if the Celtics can just stay afloat without him, man, I think the NBA would be pretty scared to see a guy like JT come back in March or somewhere in that time frame. That's where I'm at with it. I'm ready to get delusional. I texted you guys that today, that the 26 Celtics, I might be all the way back in, baby. But we'll see. A lot of time to come. We will be talking Eastern Conference today, though. So Let's get right into it, guys. We're going to tier every team in the Eastern Conference. They're going to fall into these 4 categories. You're either a contender, pretty self-explanatory, playoff team, mid, or you should tank. Because not everyone realizes that sometimes when their team is that bad, or they have no shame and just get right into the tanking. We will break down every team in the Eastern Conference. You guys want to just go in alphabetical order? That's what I was going to do.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that idea. We could do that. We could each bring up a team. Alphabetical works for me. Because I don't want to go one tier at a time. That's no fun. See what they are.
Let's start with this, and little tease here. This team may be brought up in my rant slightly towards the end, but I'm at least putting this team, the Atlanta Hawks, in the playoff team. I could be talked into contender, especially if things don't go exactly my way for the Celtics this season. But I am pretty confident I could put this Atlanta Hawks group into a playoff team and not think twice about it.
So, Dunny, let's be honest. First off, the Hawks are usually a playoff team anyway, so I don't think that's crazy. And I'm going to double down with you, and I'm going to put them into contender for me. Yeah. I think this Atlanta Hawks team not only is a contender, I think they're the most improved team in the NBA this year. This Atlanta Hawks team has a lot of pieces that I really like. Number one, they had the best rookie in the final – in the second half, final 2 months, second half of the NBA season last year in Zachary Risache. He was unbelievable, and I think I expect him to take another step up this full season, gets a full off-season training, everything. Trae Young, and I know people don't like him, he's the most disrespected superstar in the NBA. And I am saying superstar. It's a guy who gives you 25 and 10 pretty much every night. I know he's not the best defensive player in the world, but that doesn't matter when you got a guy like Dyson Daniels, who might be the best defensive guard in the NBA. Oh, by the way, Jalen Johnson's coming back, and he was probably going to win Most Improved Player last year before his injury. And they added a guy you're familiar with, Dunny, to get a little size in that front court in Kristaps Porzingis. This is a team that has size. This is a team that has scoring ability. This is a team that has depth, that has defenders. I love this Atlanta Hawks team, and the fact that you started on it, and I think Dunny knows ball. I think we can put out that Dunny might know ball, and that makes me feel better about my take, because the Hawks are my favorite, I guess, quote-unquote, surprise team this year. I expect them to be in the playoffs, but I expect this team to be fighting for probably a top 4, top 3 position in the East all season long.
Jake, tell us what goes.
I was bordering on it as well, and now you guys have set me over the edge here. They have to be a contender. We were talking about Jalen Johnson a little bit before the podcast. That guy, if he comes back healthy, the way he was projecting during last season was going to be near all-star level. To add him back, and like you said about Trae Young, like they finally have built this team to the point where they can hide his deficiencies if they need to defensively. Like they built a defensive juggernaut around him because of that, and they wanted him to be a part of this. And now he still has all the acumen offensively, and honestly getting better offensively every year, better understanding of what's needed from him night to night, better understanding of getting his guys, more involved, moving the ball around more. And the one name we haven't mentioned, and I think he's as important to this as anything else, is Quinn Snyder is one of the best coaches in all of basketball. And what he was able to do with the Jazz before and now with this team, he gets the most out of guys. And I think that this is a roster, especially when you look at the East. I mean, it's there's going to be some favorites here. Like there's obviously a couple teams out here that are going to be that no matter what in this tier, but I don't think once we get to a playoff race, like it's going to be really matchup dependent. And it's honestly as wide open as it's ever been in the Eastern Conference, and at least in the last 20 years, honestly, the most wide open it's ever been. And I think the Hawks are the team that would be ready as anybody else to step into this tier based on what we've seen from last year going into this year. So I think we have to put the Hawks. We're starting off hot with the contender, but I think it has to be.
Starting with a nice take. Also, too, kind of underrated. You talk about Trae Young's defensive deficiency. They added Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who's also one of the best defensive guards. You got him and Dyson Daniels. I think you'll be all right with the backcourt for defense, even despite having Trae Young.
Oh yeah, and like Daniels, I know we mentioned him a couple times now, but just need to remind people he's a year younger than Jalen Johnson, and he's on a contract for $7 million a year. Like one of the best contracts in the NBA.
They robbed the Pelicans. At a fleece. It was disgusting what they did to the Pelicans.
Pretty crazy, man. So that is the Hawks. We're, I guess, without much of a fight, we're going to throw them into the contender category. Love to see that.
Rest of the teams won't go like that. I can promise you guys that. We're not going to be as in sync on the rest of the
because this next one is already going to be more difficult. The Boston Celtics.
Oh boy. Here we go. Get
it's very dependent. It's very dependent on what we started the show with. I think that's fair to say. I also, if you guys are going to let me start with this, I think the fair position for them is playoff team, and I think we should keep them out of the contender conversation just because it's the biggest question mark probably any team in the NBA has this year, whether Tatum returns or not. I think if Tatum returns and JB and Derek White and Pritchard and company were able to keep this team afloat, I think they go into the contender conversation. But I don't no one can make a guess on that or an assumption right now. So I think playoff team is just fine.
Right. I mean, you also didn't mention too in company Anthony Simons, who they got, which we talked about before
Yeah.
the show started, Dunny. This is a guy who could have a couple weeks stretch where he's averaging 25, 30 points a game. He's a great player. This Celtics team, it's kind of the same question marks I had with them last year. Is their front court really concerns me? We've seen their depth chart in the front court right now, and a Tatum injury does not help that. But I think you're right, Dunny, where this team only has to be a playoff team because if you could get Tatum back for the postseason, everything changes. I'm a little less optimistic than you are. Mainly because I think you're talking yourself into him possibly returning. I don't know. Achilles is tough, especially for a basketball player to return the following season. So I will put them in a playoff team because I do think the roster is good enough. Peyton Pritchard was unbelievable last year. Jaylen Brown, right? Derek White, Anthony Simons. It's a good team, but front court really scares me, and they're one injury away from, kind of falling out of it with their depth. I'll put a playoff team, though. I do like the roster. I like the organization. I like the coaching, Dunny. And that's the thing with the Celtics, right? I say it all the time in basketball. There are just some teams that have winning cultures. The Boston Celtics are one of them. And the Tatum injury is going to hurt them. But I think it's a good enough team to get into the playoffs in a weak Eastern Conference.
Any objections?
They have too much talent, I think, not to be a playoff team, even if I want to just be a hater and say that it could all blow up this year. And I still think there is a scenario, Dunny, that it could go poorly and they bail on things earlier than people think. I want to ask you just what if you had it, you had the crystal ball, if you had the rabbit's foot, the magic 8 ball, whatever it else, do you think Tatum comes back? And that's a different question from do you want him to come back early? Because I see it all the time, hear it all the time from you and from our other Celtics fans, friends, and see it on chatter all the time. Just hoping and praying that he's coming back this year. And personally, if it was me with Donovan Mitchell or Evan Mobley in this scenario, I wouldn't want them to come anywhere near the court this year. But Jason Tatum, all we've heard about, like you said, maybe a cyborg. This recovery seems like it's going insane. Is that also propaganda coming out from Tatum because he wants to push himself to get back? I could see that scenario too. So it worries me how much he's pushing to come back so soon after the injury personally. But I want to know what your thoughts are. And also, do you think it's actually a possibility?
So up until Monday, I had the exact same thoughts that you just laid out. If you were a Celtics fan, or if this was Mobley or Donovan Mitchell, most of the summer, my thought process has been, if he's not, unless he's absolutely 100% like making strides, practicing for months, then we bring him back. I didn't want to. I thought bad idea. I thought, kind of what Steve laid out, like front court scares me. Even if he does come back, I do think they'd be a contender, but it's like, is it worth it if there's a re-injury? So, yes, I was on the side of keeping him off the court until 2026, 2027 season. Now, the reports that we're getting this week where like he's literally already starting to do like basketball related rehab, that's where I'm like, I mean, if he's 100%, all this dude wants to do is compete. He's at the beginning of his prime, so it's not like age is a factor here, really. Obviously, Achilles, scary, but like the fact that this Achilles, like genius surgeon, is saying all these glowing things about Tatum as well, like, I don't know, maybe this guy's just a medical anomaly and he's good, and in which case, who am I to argue? So, kind of both, I guess, to answer your question, but up until this week, I was pretty firmly, let's not rush him. And I'm a huge JB guy too, which I don't think is a constant between Celtics fans. Like, I think some people are still sour to JB. They like to compare the two J's for whatever reason. I choose not to enjoy my basketball that way. I believe in JB. I think he can make some noise on his own. Contender? No. Like I said, I don't think there'd be a contender without JT. But yeah, I was willing to let it ride. But the reports this week have me feeling a certain type of way. But even putting my fandom aside, I believe there's a chance he comes back this year.
All right, I guess we'll see. It seems like, I mean, he got the experimental surgery right away. That was news that happened literally right after the injury. that it's obviously progressing nicely. He clearly wants to come back as soon as possible. And if he does and he's healthy, like talk about a trade deadline acquisition. Like that's the best acquisition anybody could make for a team that's already a title contender. So but we'll stick him in the playoff team tier because I think it is too much of an unknown. But if he is really healthy and comes back, they are absolutely in the contender tier, and it's my worst nightmare, to be honest. I can't lie. So who do we have next here? Is it the Chicago Bulls? The Chicago Bulls.
We're forgetting someone.
Who did we forget?
Well, everyone forgets I'm the Brooklyn Nets. We're going.
Oh yeah, they do start with a B. That's right.
We're going alphabetical here.
I just think New Jersey in my head all the time. It really Brooklyn has been the hardest thing for me to pick up on. This team should tank. I don't even know if should they tank? Do they even have picks to tank with? Like I don't know what's going on with them. They used a lot of picks last year. I do know that.
Yeah. No, they stink. They stink. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, my biggest thing I'm looking into the Brooklyn Nets is how long Cam Thomas is going to stay on the team, how long Nick Claxton is going to stay on the team. This is a team that traded for Michael Porter Jr., and we've seen how Michael Porter Jr. has been acting since he left the Nuggets. So, yeah, I think this team's going to be horrible. I think this is probably going to be the worst team in the NBA, if not one of the worst teams. I think there probably will be the worst. I think this Nets team's just awful. And, yeah, like you said, they should tank, but what do they have to tank? We'll see.
Yeah, it's weird. I think we have to put them in the should tank because I don't even think they're good enough to call mid.
Yeah, they do, and they own their first round pick this year, so tanking is beneficial to them.
Good for them. I'm happy for you, Brooklyn.
This is like, did you guys ever do like a association and 2K? Where like it's basically like a fantasy draft, but like you build a team and like other people can play with you. The Nets this year is like a team that like your buddy wants to join the association after you already drafted, and you're like, yeah, you can have the Nets, dude. Like,
yeah,
you can jump in with the Nets. Go figure that out. It's just a weird grouping of players who, to me, make absolutely zero sense to play alongside one another. I mean, the fact that I'm watching MPJ interviews yesterday, him talking about how much money he spends on Ubers a day.
Bro, there's no way that that's economically smarter than hiring a driver. Like,
it's not.
Or there's no way. Like just the hat. Like the driver. There's no way the driver costs $250 a day. I'm sorry.
Dude, I'll
maybe
drive
200
you around for $220 a day.
Yeah, exactly. Like someone will do it. $250 a day on Ubers is absurd. But he's not the smartest guy in the world from everything we've heard this offseason too. So,
all right, are we cool putting Brooklyn in mid or you should tank and moving on?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, get them out.
Even if they don't have the draft capital, just get out of my face here.
And we tried to skip over them to talk about the Chicago Bulls. Who
we're skipping again?
What
Hornets,
else,
right?
Steve? I don't know the
Hornets,
alphabet,
right?
Thank you, the Charlotte Hornets. I mean, I know Jake wants to talk about the Bulls. I get it, but we got to get these two bad teams first.
So admittedly, the list I was looking at, I thought it was in alphabetical order, and now Charlotte's at the very bottom of this list. So I don't know.
I don't think that's alphabetical order. I'll be honest with you, Tony.
Nevertheless, I went to elementary school. I believe Charlotte Hornets are next.
DHA. Yeah. Okay.
I might say this is a mid team, just off. They're not a contender. I like Brandon Miller. I mean, if LaMelo's healthy.
The categories you should tank, though. I feel like this team should tank. Do we really think LaMelo's going to be there long term?
No.
I'm surprised he's still there, to be honest.
Me too. I mean, that's what I'm saying. And I like Brandon Miller. Con Knuckle, I think, was a fine draft pick. I think it'll be fine. I don't know, man. I mean, the categories you should tank. I don't think Charlotte's gonna be mid. I guess if Melo stays healthy the whole year, then yeah, they'll probably be a mid team. This is a team. You look at how they're built. This is a team that probably should tank.
And like you know what? You bring up a good point too, Steve, because they've since LaMelo's been drafted by this team. I know pieces have come in and out. but like they've almost had like a similar core every year to what they're putting out there this year. And what have they been best like 13 seed?
Right.
So I guess you're right. Like it isn't really fair to call them mid. They haven't even earned mid yet, which is, ugh. But I don't know if that was a reaction to they haven't even earned mid yet, or me realizing that both Pat Connaughton and Spencer Dinwiddie are on the Charlotte Hornets right
They
now.
have like 6 like eighth man. They have like 6 like eighth man off the bench on this team. It's actually they got Josh Green, they got Trey Mann, they got Connaughton, like they got Grant Williams, Colin Sexton. He's better than eighth man. I'll give him like a seventh man. But they just have
I'm curious
so many
if you guys even know who this is. I only know who he is because he played for the Celtics G League team. Do you guys know who Drew Peterson is?
I've heard the name, but I couldn't pick him out of the crowd.
If you clicked on him, you'd think you're on your LinkedIn account and just came across a finance guy or something. Yeah, all right. I'm kind of getting sick of looking at Hornets roster right now. Let's go ahead and put them in the you should
tank. Yeah.
Unless Jake, any objections?
No objections. This team, yeah, I'm surprised. Like I said, I'm surprised LaMelo is still on this roster, and I feel like with Knuppel there, it's time's ticking for LaMelo. He'll be a guy on the move this year.
Yep.
The Bulls.
Okay, now it's the Bulls.
We're here.
Now we're here. We got through the two bad. You guys wanted to go right past the bad teams. But
it's because the Bulls should tank too.
Ooh.
The Bulls
have
been in no man's land. They've been in play-in land for how long? How many years do we talk about the Bulls and are like, oh yeah, look at the Bulls. They might grab the 9 seed. They might grab the 10 seed. Oh, Kobe White's fun. Oh, they got Nick Vucevic and all these guys. Oh, Zach LaVine's gone now, but like just as players
Javon
that were
Carter
not
hit a 3 to cut it to 12.
They signed Josh Giddey to a big contract,
He did play very well last year.
He did play well, but can he be a number 1 guy? Is he even a number 2 guy on your team? They have Isaac Okoro on this team now, still around.
Kevin Huerter's on this team now, right?
Kevin Huerter's on this team. Patrick Williams has been like, that guy's he's clearly not going to be a star, and they're still trying to make him into a star. This is a team that's been due to blow it up. I don't even know how you do it, because I don't know what you give up, but they need more talent.
Vooch is the answer to that.
How is Vooch still on this team, bro? That's the thing.
Is he really the answer to help rebuild? I'm gonna
get rid of any NBA. Honestly, any NBA player besides Kobe White and Josh Giddey at this point.
No Buzelis. You don't want to keep Buzelis.
Yeah,
you gotta keep Buzelis.
You gotta keep Buzelis around.
I like.
That's it. Io's got to go. Who cares if he's from Chicago? Like, he's got to go get something for him. Herder needs to go at the deadline. Okoro needs to go at the deadline. Jalen Smith needs to go. Vucevic needs to go. Patrick Williams needs to go. This team it's a mid team that needs to tank.
All right,
so I think they should belong. You should tank.
So that's what you just said. You just picked my answer right there. They're mid. Like, as much as I want to put this team in, you should tank. Their roster is too talented. I feel like to tank unless they make moves right away, and I don't think they will, because they're the Chicago Bulls, and we've been saying this for it feels like 5-10 years. They still have Vooch, like you said. If you still have Vooch at this point, you're just going to be mid. I think the Chicago Bulls, if you looked up like NBA teams in the dictionary, they would just come up as a mid. Chicago Bulls mid. I think the mid category is for the Chicago Bulls. They have some fun, exciting players. Kobe White's fun. I am excited to see what Buzelis does in year 2. DeSumo's fun, but at the end of the day, this is just a mid team. Vucevic might have a game where he has 25 points and 22 rebounds. He probably will, and they'll probably win that game. And then they'll lose 6 straight. I just think the Chicago Bulls are the definition of mid.
But I'm flipping the question you gave to Dunny. The category is you should tank.
You should tank. You should. You should, but I think we know the track record of the Chicago Bulls, that it doesn't matter what you tell the Bulls to do. They're going to stay mid. And like I said, the Brooklyn Nets
sold the second round. Bro, he moved down 10 spots in the second round this year for like $300,000. Like,
that's so embarrassing, bro.
It's so bad.
You own the fucking Chicago Bulls.
I know.
So bad.
I know.
That's like me letting people cut me in line. That's like me letting people cut me in line at McDonald's to give me $5. Is what he did in the draft.
Pretty much.
Pretty
That's
much.
insane, dude. All right. Wait, well, I don't know. Let's leave them in mid. We haven't put anyone in mid.
We're gonna need some mid teams here because
I mean, they are the definition.
They are. You're right.
Yeah, they are. They
but
fit
they
it
should
perfectly.
tank, so it's tough.
They should, but they're the Bulls. How many years have we talked about this? The Bulls, you either got to go for it, you got to throw it away. And they're like, nah, we'll just be like the 12th seed. Let's be like 10 to 12 all year.
Let's play Giannis in the play-in again.
Yeah, we love getting just smoked by 30 in the play-in. That 9-10 matchup coming into the 10, lose by 30 and bring back the same roster. And if JBC, if you're listening, this is nothing personal against you. I want the Bulls to be good, but they're mid. They're mid.
All right, that's fair.
Jake, this next one is for you, and for me, it's an easy answer. I mean, they have to be
easiest answer.
Right?
That's what we don't even have to spend a lot of time on this. The Cavs they're the favorites in the East right now, the betting favorites. This is the year, guys. If they can't do it this year with the Celtics injuries and the roster that they have, like it's gonna be tougher sledding after any year, especially aprons start hitting everything else. Don't know Darius Garland. He needs to stay healthy. That's really the biggest thing for this team is him being healthy for the whole year. Max Strus out to start the year with an injury probably until January time, but this is all about Evan Mobley. Like if Evan Mobley takes another step up and is a more dominant offensive player, they should be the number 1 seed in the East and have as good a shot as anybody to make the finals. Could they win a finals against the Thunder even with this team? I don't know about that, but this is the year. They got to do it this year. So I think this is an easy contender, and it'll be a nervous basketball year for me because I feel like this is the first time they've had pressure since 2016, since before Durant went to the Warriors, honestly, like most pressure they've had on them and most pressure without LeBron ever to do something.
Yeah. They're still trying to make the double big man work, and it worked last year in the regular season. They looked like, the most dominant team before they ran into the Indiana Pacers, which, at the time, I know you were upset, but the Pacers proved themselves
that was
how
just
good
like,
of a team.
You know that meme of the dude in War right now who just saw like all the flashbacks? That's what you just did to me right there. I just saw it all.
I mean, this is a 60-plus win team from last year that I think has a better roster. I think Lonzo Ball was a great addition. You have a full year of DeAndre Hunter now. They got Thomas Brown as well. I mean, I like this. I like this Cavs team quite a bit. I think this is the favorites in the East, and they should be the favorites in the East. And I don't see why not.
Yeah, I concur with all of that. I think this next one's pretty easy for me as well. Detroit, I want to put them in a playoff team because I think it would be super disrespectful to call this group mid. They're in the playoffs last year. I think even depending on what happens with Malik Beasley, I think they got better because they have Jaden Ivey returning. I like the things they did this offseason. You guys good with that? Detroit, should they be lower? I don't think anyone on
playoff teams
wants to call them a contender. So
Cade Cunningham took a worse roster to the playoffs last year.
Right.
You got a better roster now. You added some more depth scoring, and like you said, Dunny, I think the biggest thing is Jaden Ivey is going to be healthy for this year. Which Jaden Ivey he's a star in his own right. Right? We kind of saw him almost kind of creep to take that next step, and then the injury derailed that. I'm excited to see what Ivy can do this year.
He just had a Monty Williams problem. That was all that was. He was playing Killian Hayes over Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, that.
Killian Hayes, now a Cleveland Cavalier. I don't know what to say. Nothing else to say about that.
Get the Cavs out of the contender category.
yeah. He's watching. Donovan Mitchell's on the bench. Why is Donovan Mitchell on the bench? Killian Hayes has got to dribble around a little bit. Shoot over
Monty Williams like sitting in the corner.
Not great.
Okay, easy. Couple of easy ones here. This one's just sad, guys. Indiana Pacers. I think I have to do it, but they're probably going to be mid without Hallie, right?
I don't know, man, because I think Carlisle's gonna. Yeah, I think Carlisle can get it done. This is a weak East.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Steve.
Playoffs?
Carlisle's one of the
I
best
guess,
coaches. I think
yeah.
they're a playoff team.
I think they're a playoff team. They might be like a lower playoff team, but the coach and the depth, I trust the Indiana
I would take
Pacers.
them over the Bulls right now. That's for sure.
I mean, that's not
Without
a
a
crazy
question.
take. You can't.
Well, we got it. We were going to put them both in the mid. They were about to both be in mid.
You can't come out here and say
Steve
that like
broke
you're
down.
making some wild take.
No, they were both about to be in the same category.
No, they were not both about to be in the same category. We were about to talk some sense into Dunny and put him in a playoff team.
That's why I'm saying they're better than the Bulls.
I take them. Of course they are. Of course you would. I mean, what are we doing? That should never have been said. That was a sentence that never needed to be said.
I'm just clarifying.
I take the Pacers over the Bulls. You know what, Dunny? I take the Pacers over the Nets this year. I think they're going to be better. I think they're going to be better than the Brooklyn Nets. Yo, yes.
Now you're disrespecting Kobe White. Now you're
of all people, I do not disrespect Kobe White. Don't even start with that.
I'm putting a breakout quote. Steve says Cam Thomas is better than Kobe White.
No, we're not doing this. We're not doing. You know how I feel. You know how I feel about Kobe White. Don't even start with that. We'll get into that later. Don't even start with disrespect.
I don't know. I see him pretty high up here. I don't know. Yeah, the Pacers are. It's the Carlisle thing as much as anything.
And I think the guys step up too. Nembhard and Naismith stepped up when they needed to in the postseason. This could be a Ben Mathurin type of step up. Like I don't know. I look at this team and I go, man, it's a good roster. Yeah, obviously you don't have Tyrese Halliburton and you don't have Miles Turner, but Pascal Siakam. We're forgetting how good Pascal Siakam is. He can be a one, guys. I know Halliburton's out. But TJ McConnell's one of the best bench point guards you can have, and that's the only type of guy they need. Just a playmaker who plays hard. Like I don't. It's the Pacers, man. Good coach, good depth. I'll take them to the playoffs.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think I just I have the Achilles injuries on the brain, and I'm programmed right now to think the worst. But
Dunny's got like the Celtics flashback now in his head. I'm giving you guys both just trauma in the postseason.
Yeah, honestly.
Me and Jake are having a rough go of it right now. No, you guys are right though. I'm glad you brought that up. I actually love the Pacers squad too. Like everyone you guys named. I mean, just think about the opportunity a guy like Nembhard's gonna have with this offense and just. McConnell, I think that's a great point, Steve, but another year older, like Nembhard's really going to have the keys to this thing, I think. And that'll be exciting to watch. So, Pacers definitely deserve a playoff spot there. Miami next, guys. I mean, mid, right?
It has to be mid.
Yeah, I think they have to be.
I mean,
it's gonna bite us in the ass. I know it.
They're gonna get in the playoffs
or something. But
they're going to make the playoffs, Dunny. I know we talk about this every year, and I'm not gonna go down in the Miami ship until it actually sinks. And I don't like this roster, and I don't think it's a great team. But they're gonna make the playoffs, man. Tyler Hero, they got Norman Powell, Bam Adebayo, like.
Yeah. No.
Andrew Wiggins is there. Like it's probably
be a mid-playoff team.
Yeah, we should have created a fifth-tier mid-playoff team. No, but I think we're all like just expecting that Miami's just gonna somehow. We're gonna look, in April and be like, oh, Miami's the 6th seed. How'd that happen?
Also, is Tyler Hero hurt right now?
Yes.
Yeah, he's expected to miss 8 weeks.
Yeah, he's out for a little bit.
It's tough. I mean, dude's been hurt a lot the last couple of years, to be honest. So
ankle injury too. So like 8 weeks, not gonna have a good start. Yeah.
No, but he'll play. I mean, that's what, a third of the season, right? About.
Oh yeah, he'll be back.
Yeah, he'll still play.
Slow start and then rehabbing back from an ankle injury.
Yeah.
They're destined to be mid here. The MIA is turned into MID for the sake of this podcast. Speaking of MIs, MIL, Milwaukee, I believe, is next, if I know my alphabet.
This is a tough one because Giannis is here.
Right.
So you want to think like, should they just go right in the contender tier because of that? But this is like the worst roster around a star since.
I think I disagree.
Really?
Yeah. I think I disagree. So I'm gonna go kind of almost with the not the Denver Nuggets argument, but kind of similar, where Giannis with Jokic with Giannis, you don't need a 2 option. You just need a bunch of role players that will do kind of what you need to do or excel in one area or not. And the guys they got around him this year, I think can kind of work, man. I think they can kind of work. First off, I love the addition of Miles Turner. You know how I feel about Miles Turner. I know we're talking about this might be the worst roster Giannis has had around him, but Miles Turner, in my opinion, is one of the better players that I feel like Giannis has had around him in quite some time. Bobby Portis, Kevin Porter Jr., we've seen flashes for them. As much as I hate Kyle Kuzma, he's a good role player for like a player like Giannis. And I just, I think they had a Cole Anthony too, he's a guy, he's flashy at times. I don't think they have the star power, but I also don't think you need the star power with a player like Giannis Antetokounmpo. You'd rather have depth than star power, and for that reason, I feel like Giannis can kind of just carry this team all year. Now, this is a team with one injury to Giannis. We're talking about them in this same realm as, the Brooklyn Nets, the Charlotte Hornets. But for the time being, I look at the roster that they have around them. They kind of got some guys who can score. They got guys who can play defense. They have size. It kind of makes them a contender in my eyes. I'll be honest. It all relies on Giannis, but I look at the team around him. I think everyone's really, really down on this Milwaukee Bucks roster. I just think it's kind of work with Giannis. He can be that true alpha usage guy, and everything else kind of falls into place. I honestly think it's better than the Bucks teams the past couple of years around Giannis.
So I was actually going to say the same thing. Like, think about that first round series last year, Indiana, Milwaukee. Dame doesn't play just the first game, maybe the first 2 games.
Yeah.
But like, even with Dame, but definitely eliminate Dame. That first game against Indiana, like, this team is better than that.
I agree.
I think.
Yeah.
So, but this is where I think we can figure out where to put them, because I'm struggling between contender and playoff team. Obviously, I don't think any of us think there are any other options below that. But would this group beat the Celtics in a playoff series without Jason Tatum next season?
Without, I think they could. Can we just talk about when the Bucks won the championship, what Giannis did? Like, this is a guy, I put him in the tier with Nikola Jokic is probably the only 2 players right now in the NBA where they can just carry any roster and kind of will any roster to win. We talk about that Pacers. Yes, the Pacers beat them in the playoff series, but Giannis kept them competitive in games when their rosters weren't even close. And it wasn't for Tyrese Halliburton kind of crossing them up at the end, making them late. They would have won that game. Who knows what would have happened with that series, but he could keep any team, any roster in the game. And like I said, I think this roster's better than the rosters of the past years. They just had that other star name with Damian Lillard, but overall, I kind of like this roster a little bit better, guys. I kind of do.
You know what? Thanasis is back on this team. They got to be.
Vibes are back.
The vibes are all the way back.
What was I thinking?
If you guys feel as strongly about the roster, I think Giannis himself is alone enough to consider a contender. I'm fine with him being a contender. I'm not as high on the roster, even with Miles Turner. We'll see what happens, but I think they have to. I think with Giannis, if it's close, he can push them over the edge, especially in this East this year, where we need contenders.
I also, if they get matched up with any smaller teams in the Eastern Conference at the playoffs, I mean, it's going to be bad. That front court is scary. Say what you want about the rest of the roster, but Portis, Turner, and Giannis is who knows how it's going to work together. Who knows how it's going to work together for 82 games, but. If they find themselves going up against smaller teams, I think they'll like that very much. So Milwaukee, contender, put them on the list. Next would be the New York Knicks. And this one's pretty easy for me as well, right?
You have to, right? Have to put them
if we're putting the Bucks there.
You have to. Knicks have no depth once again. They did add Jordan Clarkson this year, right? I think
I do love that. I love some Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah.
I actually, and they signed someone and Brogdon recently. So they did all right with their
Okay,
bench,
yeah,
I
that's
think.
actually not
And
too bad.
depending on what's good, they were the ones in on Malik Beasley. If they still want to explore
Right.
that after he was
I mean,
cleared
that
of
would
all
be a
this
huge
stuff, like, that would be
splash.
huge for them too.
I think the best part is we're talking about guys that are going to play 4 to 5 minutes a night because we know how the Knicks roster operates.
Yeah.
It's 40, 40, 40, 35, Miles McBride, 25.
But maybe that was a Tibbs thing
Maybe.
as much as anything.
Yeah.
Maybe Mike Brown is puts it down a little bit. Who knows? I'm excited. Like, Mike Brown was the last person I think the world of Mike Brown as a head coach. I think that he's a really great, really good head coach.
Mhm.
So I don't think they're going to miss a beat because of coaching at all. That's for
Yeah,
sure. But,
true.
I don't know. We'll see. They are still top heavy, and you want Brunson and Mikal Bridges. First of all, is going to play damn near 48 minutes a night if he
They're
wants
top
to. Like,
4,
no matter what. Like, Hart, same thing.
Yeah. Outside of Cat, those 4 guys are Bridges, Hart, Anunoby, and Brunson. Those guys are guys who play 40, 42 minutes a night, and they don't care. So, and Cat, I mean, I don't think Cat will play that much, but Cat, we had talked about it. He surprised us last year. I thought he played really well last year. I was genuinely surprised.
Cat's gonna do what Cat does. He's gonna have his moments, but he's also gonna have his disappearances too. I think that the Knicks just need to just plan for that more than anything. But I think we don't need to talk much about the Knicks. They're the same thing as the Cavs. Like, they're one of the favorites in this conference. This is their best chance without the Celtics making a run to make their own run here at the title. So we'll see what happens. This one I'm interested to hear about from you guys, though. The Orlando Magic.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of weight on Desmond Bane. I think it's one of the best acquisitions this offseason. I think Desmond Bane is going to be a great scorer for them. But the Magic, we talk about the Magic, it feels like for 3 years now, their biggest thing, Achilles heel, has just been their offense just disappears sometimes. And Banchero, you want him to take the next step, and then he gets hurt. Wagner looks like he's going to he gets hurt. Jalen Suggs, like, he gets hurt. Like, we haven't really seen a full season of health with this core they built, and I think all 3 of us can agree we kind of love the core of the Orlando Magic here, and I think all 3 of us love Desmond Bane. So, in my opinion, they're at least a playoff team in my mind. I think I could be talked to the contender, but I don't know if I want to put any more than the 4 teams we have in contender, because I feel like this is a team that's probably right at that kind of 5th or 6th best team in the East. That's kind of where I have the Magic. I want them to be better. I want them to take the next step, but I got to see it. I got to see the consistency offensively, and I just got to see this team stay healthy before I really buy into them being a contender.
Yeah, I'm not ready to put them in contender, but I really like this Orlando team. I think still there's so many NBA fans out there, even if they're more than casual fans. Like, I just think so many people still underrate Paolo Banchero.
Agreed.
I don't know if it's just because the last couple of years in the playoffs they've kind of had boring series. Like, they threw some punches at the Celtics this year. I think the ratings were probably bad for that series. I think a lot of people probably just assumed the Celtics were going to stomp them, and Paulo deserves more credit. I'm with you. I don't think I can put them in the contenders, but, I mean, obviously a playoff team, especially with the East this year.
That's where I'm at, too. I think that that's fair, especially with the teams that we talked about. I don't know if they get to that tier. But they're going to be fun, and they're going to be a tough out for whoever they got to deal with. So,
sweet. Philly, mid.
Yeah, I mean, isn't he hurt now again too? Didn't that come out today?
I didn't even see that.
I want to see this team at full health because I think they have a really talented roster, but. You guys, I mean, Embiid, who knows what you're going to get out of Embiid this year? Who knows what you're going to get out of Paul George this year? I think we all agree one of our favorite rookies is DJ Edgecombe. I'm excited to see what he can do. Who knows what the health of McCain's going to be this year? I'm fine putting them in mid, but I feel like this team's going to find their way into the playoffs. I feel like they'll squeak into at least a play-in. But I'll put them in mid for now. Yeah, I do. I really do. I just I
Well,
feel
yeah,
like
They do
playing
have enough
analysis.
talent to probably
Playing
do it, but I just feel
pisses
like
me
they
off.
are the definition of a mid team.
I would not be shocked, and you can call me crazy for this. I would not be shocked if they have a better record than the Detroit Pistons this year. That wouldn't
Steve,
shock me.
you better be careful because we already did this with the Celtics, man.
It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me.
The Celtics are going to have a better record than Philly. Where's Embiid,
Probably.
dude? I haven't seen that kind of
I
basketball.
told you,
court.
Dunny, my biggest concern with the Celtics, though, is that front court. That is terrifying.
Oh,
it is
it's awful.
bad. It
It's
is
so bad.
bad,
Pretty
and
rough,
it's really
Luka
bad in
Garza?
some of the matchups. Luka Garza, man.
Chris Boucher?
Oh boy! See,
Yeah,
this is why you're just helping my case.
No, I know. It's bad.
Big X-Man
We're talking
season.
about the Sixers being bad right now.
I agree. I don't know. I don't want to throw shots at the Celtics. We got months to do that. With the Sixers, my whole thing is they can have, and I'm not even including Embiid in this. They have enough talent where if those guys are healthy at the same time, they can rack up wins. I think they have a better roster than the Pistons. That's not including MVP Embiid.
But it is including Embiid. Like you don't.
It's also
No, I'm saying if
Paul
Embiid,
George, who
it's including Paul George playing. It's including McCain being healthy. Like it's including obviously Maxey, Edgecombe. I think they have a better roster than the Pistons, regardless of Embiid coming back and being
$106 million this year to Embiid and Paul George. Isn't that crazy?
So regardless of Embiid coming back and being good, but you wouldn't take this Sixers team without Embiid over the Pistons, right?
Not like if you're asking me right now, like what do you mean? Like who I think's better?
Because you're saying roster wise,
I think
the Pistons better.
Yeah, that also there's a couple players in that where I want to see Ivy obviously play and him be healthy, but my whole thing is if Embiid just comes back at parts in this season, you know how I mean, like where he's in and he's out, he's in and he's out. Yeah. I think that Sixers team can be better than the Pistons. If Embiid misses the whole year, then that's a different conversation.
I thought you were saying remove.
I was saying if Embiid doesn't come back to like MVP Embiid type of like, I'm saying if he comes back and he gives you 20 minutes or he plays a couple good weeks and he's out again, I think they have the players to still be a more competitive team than the Pistons. But I don't know, man. It's a lot
funny because they could really be any of these categories, like depending. I guess maybe you should tank because like Jake just laid it out what they're paying Paul George and Joel Embiid. Like this group, they almost can't afford to tank.
It's not a full tank though because they have too much young talent.
Yeah,
it's not a true tank when you have too much young talent. Jared McCain, VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey, that's not a tank. If you get rid of a couple of those guys, then you're tanking. But I don't think getting rid of Paul George and finding someone to take Embiid or finding anyone to take those two contracts is truly tanking. You know what I mean? Like that's
it's just doing something that you probably should have already done.
Yeah, it's doing almost like an accelerated rebuild, but it's not a true tank because in my opinion, you have 2-3 really talented young players still on that roster.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Okay, Philly mid maybe could go the up arrow direction, but we'll see.
The last two, do we have to talk a lot about? We got Toronto and Washington. Those are teams that both need to just
tank.
Keep tanking.
I don't think Toronto's going to tank. I think Toronto's like
no, but they should. That's
but
the thing.
They should. They should though.
Steve,
this team was bad last year, Steve.
Do not try to sell me on this core, dude.
I'm not.
Quickly and Barrett literally left New York to die, man. You think RJ Barrett's getting his career revived? Because I don't.
No, I don't. I don't think they're gonna tank though.
They went out and paid Jakob Poeltl again, dude.
I know. I just don't think they're going to tank. When I look at the teams in the East that I think are going to tank, which I have Nets, Hornets, Wizards, I think Toronto's a step above those three teams. So that by logic, I would put Toronto in mid.
Honestly, I think that's actually fair because
I don't think they still got Scotty Barnes. They got Brandon Ingram. Like you're talking about Quickly and Barrett. Like that's their two best players. No, that's 3 and 4. Yeah. No, that might be 4 and 5 because Poeltl was decent last year. But they got Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram. Like I look at this team and I go, I think they're better than I think they're better than the other three teams in the U should tank. And regardless of what we want the Raptors to do, I just think they're a mid team. I think they're fine. Remember, 10 teams got to make the playoffs in the East, right? 10 teams got to make the playoffs in the East, and we're getting to the point where it's like, all right, like we got 2 spots left after our tiers, and that's Bulls, Heat, Raptors. Do you think the Raptors are closer to Bulls, Heat, or do you think they're closer to the Nets?
No, I think they're closer to the Nets, Hornets, and Wizards.
I don't. I completely disagree. I completely disagree. You think the Raptors are closer?
Team. That was a bad team. Lot of high priced guys. Not a lot of guys I'm interested in playing winning basketball though.
I just think their roster is significantly better than the bottom 3.
I agree with that. Their roster is significantly better, but it didn't show that it worked.
No,
year. But that's not fair.
You got a whole off season.
Yeah, BI missed the whole season pretty much too. Yeah, no, I'm fine with them being a mid. Because honestly, if you look at the 5 they roll out, who they're super proud of for some reason, it is mid. It's fucking super mid.
It's definition of mid.
And that was actually the reason I brought up those guys too, because like, yeah, Scotty and BI are who you want to talk about, but like they willingly accepted a trade to bring in Quickly and Barrett while sending OG to fucking to New York, which I still can't get over that. But
sneaky league pass team because it's going to be like 140, 130 when they're shooting well.
Yeah,
sneaky.
Yeah, I think mid's the right spot for them, but I see your sentiment too, Jake, because I think this team has potential to be hot ass. But
fair enough.
We'll see. All right, we are going to round out the episode with.
No, we're not even going to give the Wizards 30 seconds.
Oh no, they're. No. They should tank. That's all I got.
Get them out of here.
Give me one positive thing about the Wizards this year, Dunny. Just one.
I'm trying to think of something they did this.
I got one for you. They got Trey Johnson. They got your guy Trey Johnson.
They do have Trey Johnson.
Poor Trey Johnson.
They got your guy Trey Johnson. Tony was a big fan of Trey Johnson in college.
I was, but I don't know, man. I'm trying to see if I can look up some Wizards news. I feel like there's something that I like they did this summer outside of Trey Johnson.
He's reaching.
Steve, this is why I tried to move on, man. I got nothing to say to this sorry franchise.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. Maybe McCollum is gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, that's what they fucking did. Yeah, dude, they just started signing everyone that was over 30 years old.
You'd say McCollum, Chris Middleton.
Oh, did they move on from Smart? Yeah, Smart's out.
I think so. Yeah. One player I don't even remember.
Smart's a Laker, dude. What the fuck?
They have Cam Whitmore. I didn't even know the Wizards got Cam Whitmore. When did that happen?
I'm always excited to watch Bob Carrington and Koulibaly, so I am going to be excited to watch them again on a very, very, very bad Wizards team. Okay, that was our Wizards minute.
There we go.
Now we will get into the very highly acclaimed, the sought after Happy Hour Hoops Top 100 drum roll.
Hold on.
We are starting 100 and going to 76 today. This is kind of the combined brains from Steve, Jake, and myself. We put this together, and do you guys want to alternate who says them, and then we can stop when we think we have a talking point?
Yeah, I think someone just starts ripping off names until we...
Okay. And yeah, I think there is still room for discussion because we were kind of poking some things around before we started. But at 100, starting off the Happy Hour Hoops top 100 list, at 100 working back, Jabari Smith Jr. at number 100, guys. This is a guy who we had outside the top 100. We figured he at least deserved to be here. I think by season's end, like this could easily be a guy for me Depending on where this Rockets team goes with KD, the Van Vliet injury, they're going to need other guys to step up. I know completely different positions, but you get what I'm saying. I think this is a guy who could find himself into like the low 70s, late 60s by season's end, because I still believe in the athleticism of potential, but I think this is a safe spot for Jabari.
Yeah, he just needs to find something besides just 3-point and dunk. Is really he's gotta find some other part of his offensive game. But I think you're right, Dunny. I think there's a lot of potential with this, especially with his raw athletic ability and his just length is crazy.
Right. Nick Claxton next.
Trade him, Brooklyn. Just trade him somewhere, please.
This is kind of another guy. Like, how is he on this roster? Like, we talked about a few of those guys when we were going over the East. LaMelo Ball being on the Hornets still. Nick Claxton, like, this is a guy who's drawn a ton of interest. Rim runner, defender. How is Nick Claxton still on the Nets? I don't know, but it works out because I think they got worse, and he'll probably show out more. Jake, you like Nick Claxton here? I know we moved him up, but you didn't seem to have any qualms when we did that.
I like Nick Claxton a lot. I think if he was on a playoff team, contending team, people would like him a lot more too. He's just been stuck in Brooklyn.
We spent some time on this next guy, number 98, just a few moments ago, Emmanuel Quickley. I mean, guy who has, real athleticism, kind of a knack for scoring, but I think Knicks fans maybe made us all believe a little too hard with the amount they talked about him, and I think this is a pretty good spot for Quickley at 98.
His good games are talked about louder than his bad games, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I think he's definitely one of those guys. He's a scorer who his big scoring games can erase some of the faults of his game. Yeah, I think that's a good point, Steve. Keegan Murray, 97. Really like Keegan Murray.
My favorite. That's my favorite that the Kings do. I'm sorry, I had to.
No, I love it. Loved the guy in college. Just pure sharpshooter. I think this is a fair spot. I think this is another guy who could easily be in the 70s by season's end.
Yeah, Kings are going to give him, I think, an opportunity to be one of their primary scorers this year. He had how many threes in a game last year? Didn't he have a game where he went nuts? It was.
I think he had like 9.
I want to say it was double digits. I want to say he had like 12 threes in a game. But yeah,
I'll look it up. You guys want to go to next, and I'll look up Keegan Murray's career high threes.
Yeah, let's roll it. We talked about this guy. 96, CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum, he's rotting in Washington now, but he's still a very good player, man. CJ McCollum is still just a great pure scorer. This is a guy who's, kind of just produced every year. He really does. Like, he's just one of those guys who just puts up numbers when he plays and when he's healthy. So I felt disrespectful to leave CJ McCollum outside of the top 100. Originally, I think he was outside of the top 100, and then we moved him up a couple spots.
96 feels about right.
His best years.
Glad that he's still made the list. Maybe he can bump it up. Maybe he gets a bunch of points with the Wizards. Who knows? Yeah. Let's go to 95. Cason Wallace, and I might have spelled it wrong. Honestly, it might be with an E there. I can't remember, but
I think it's right.
Cason Wallace.
Bill Simmons is gonna be pissed at us, bro.
Not high enough.
Yeah, he loves.
Jason probably had him at like 50, or Bill probably had him at like 50 or something. He made the list. Right? He does what he does, right? Like, he's a great role that he has in Oklahoma City. Would he be able to do more somewhere else? I don't know about that. I think it's a perfect fit for him. I think this is good. He's a top 100 player, probably talent-wise, but I don't know about what his ceiling actually would be on another team. So,
can I draw a quick comparison before we move to 94? I think Cason Wallace is like Peyton Pritchard on the Celtics 3 years ago. I think he probably thinks there's no room.
That's high praise from Dunny.
Yeah. No, I really do. I think he's a guy who's kind of a prisoner to the rest of the roster being so great, more than limitations from just a basketball standpoint. Like, I think he's really good when he gets in the game, and I think it's probably tough, especially during the playoffs, to find a guy like Cason Wallace minutes. And that's where Pritchard spent his time for years since he got drafted by the C's, and up until 2 years ago, like, he was talking about maybe moving on. Maybe it was the best thing for the Celtics and him. stuck around, and now look, he's about to be the starting point guard for the Boston Celtics. So, do I think Casey Wallace is going to take SGA's job? No, but I do think there's room to grow there. So I love Kaysen at 95. Steve, you were correct. Keegan Murray had 12 threes in a game his rookie year.
Yeah, I thought he had a game like that, but yeah, 94.
12, crazy.
Alex Caruso, little, here for the defense, right? Here for his on-ball defense. He could be a good player too, but this is a guy who's just a dog on defense. He's a guy who could take out your best player. Caruso, he's one of those guys where we tried to weigh offensive defense, somewhat equally on here, and I think that's really what got him the bump into the top 100. He's got a fine shot, he's got a good game, and he's a perfect fit for that Oklahoma City Thunder team, which we saw in the postseason this year. But I think Alex Caruso is here for one reason, and that's for his on-ball defense.
Yeah, if this was like a top 100 puzzle piece to teams, he'd probably be in the top 30.
Yeah, right.
But unfortunately, there's a lot of good players in the league. I think Caruso could have been higher, but I think this is also fair. 93, you might as well just call him Bucket. Cam Thomas, another guy who's just gonna really benefit from the Nets sucking so bad.
Yep.
The opposite of Caruso, right?
Yeah. No defense, all offense.
Exactly.
92. Let's see it. John Collins, who, again, not necessarily as
he did.
Yeah, and not nearly as much potential as guys like Case Wallace and Jabari Smith, who are much younger. But Collins is still 27, I think, 28 maybe. I think people think he's been around longer than he has, and dude, I think he's gonna have a great year on the Clippers this year. I really like that front court with him and Zoom.
We'll get into the Clippers study when we go through the West, but I'm right there with you. John Collins is just, in my opinion, he's just quietly consistent. Nobody, I promise you, none of the talking heads have mentioned John Collins this offseason, but he's just a guy who shows up and produces. Perfect fit for the Clippers, and like you said, Dunny, this is a guy that people feel like he's 34 when in reality he's not. He's a lot younger than that.
Yeah, so shout out John Collins. 91, Maple Jordan himself, Mr. Andrew Wiggins. I think this is just fair. Wiggins last couple of years, steady decline. He's going to be in Miami. He'll probably have some good opportunity while Hero's out to start the year. I think Wiggy at 91.
He could drop off this list during the year, I think, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going in that direction. I don't think we were expecting him to move up. But I think he's still his earned top 100.
Talk about
Steve wanted this guy off the list, off the planet.
No, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. He was that's not
Team
true.
USA, Keldon Johnson.
He was in the 70s, and I wanted Keldon Johnson to take that step, and I just don't think he has. And I thought he was inconsistent. And Keldon Johnson's a guy I think he needs more volume to really be that guy, and he didn't have that the past couple of seasons. Still, the talent's there. You can see it. And he's a guy who probably, could move up if he's there. Or, like I told you, Jake, I think he could just move down if he's just one of those guys who just kind of becomes guy coming off the bench for a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Keldon. But Stevie,
I think it's a fair spot.
Steve drove him down this list, so I just want to make it known that
Keldon. All right, no, let's see how many will take Keldon over. Go to the next one.
I would take over Jalen Suggs. I'll take him. I'll take Jalen Suggs. I wouldn't. I like Jalen Suggs. I could see higher on this list by the end of the year, like quite higher.
Should have been
last year.
Suggs is fair.
Should have been.
Should have been higher. I think Jalen Suggs is one of the best defensive guards in the NBA, number one. Number two, I think we saw him kind of take that next step in his offensive game. And obviously, like all Orlando Magic players, kind of injuries derailed that. But I really, really like Jalen Suggs. And I think this is a guy who could have a significant leap this year.
Yeah, gonna have some more opportunity again this year. PJ Washington at 88.
Like Mr.
PJ.
Standing on business himself. Yeah, love PJ Washington. If it was only in games against the Oklahoma City Thunder, he'd probably be top 10. But PJ Washington, I mean, you know how much I love PJ. I'm not going to keep rambling on about him. He's just that kind of tough backbone of a team you want, but he's also a very talented scorer too.
Yeah, he definitely pop off. Corner three kings at times.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. This is a guy who's just a king at 3-pointers at times. Cam Johnson, who, listen, this could be a great spot for him this year. This is like, he is like this is a Jokic dream teammate in this scenario. So he could be flying up this list. I'm very excited to see what he does. Got out of Brooklyn. Shout out to the Nets. Big topic today here. Shout out to Cam for getting out of there. That must have been miserable for him with the kind of guy he is, basketball player he is. So he's in heaven.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? And we just talked about this guy too. Like Cam Johnson going to the Nuggets kind of reminds me of Andrew Wiggins when he headed to Golden State.
Yeah. I don't hate that at all. I like that comp.
Like, just you saw the skill, you saw the potential, and then okay, put this guy around greats, and like let's see how the fit actually works. I think huge year coming up for Cam Johnson.
I'm aligned with you guys there. I think he's going to be great in Denver.
DeAndre Hunter, Cav. This is helping him with a full year with the Cavs this year. You're going to be interested to see where he ends up. But he was huge for them down the stretch. Like when they needed him, he really pulled through and just added the exact element they needed, which was a 3-and-D wing and just having some size at the forward position next to just to kind of even it out with the two small guards and the two bigs, and he kind of balanced it out perfectly.
Yeah, I think my biggest complaint with DeAndre Hunter, and this is not really his fault, it's just how great that Cavs roster was. It's just he was a little inconsistent at times. Some games he would kind of disappear. But I think you're right, Jake. A full offseason, having a full year with the Cavs. We all liked DeAndre Hunter. We really all liked him as a player. We loved when Cleveland acquired him. I think he could move up a little bit, but I do think he's limited being on that Cavs team with just so many options and guys who, are primary options ahead of him.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Now, Dunny, go ahead.
RJ Barrett, number 85. I probably would have, even looking at it now, I know we tinkered a little bit. I probably would have swapped these guys. Maybe even put him 87 and put Cam Johnson and DeAndre Hunter over him. But 85 for RJ Barrett. This is the last one we're doing, right?
75.
Oh yeah, if we were doing first 25.
I think we could have moved Jeremy Grant at 84 down. Looking at this, and maybe we still will for the final list. I think Jalen, maybe even Jalen Suggs switches with him. Cam Johnson switches with him. I think we could see that. Grant's still a good player, but was higher on this list in years past. Go ahead, Steve.
Grant, I feel like, is similar to John Collins, except he's older. But where he just kind of puts up numbers, you just don't really mention it. You don't really talk about it. He's just kind of that guy. And I feel like Jeremy Grant, every time someone's like injured or out, he kind of steps up a little bit. He just can't consistently be that guy on a night-to-night basis. But I do agree with you. I think, going into this year, there's guys that I think could very easily jump Jeremy Grant. But right now, 84, it's tough because I take Jerry Grant over RJ Barrett, but I don't think I'd take either of them over Jalen Suggs. And it's, we got Jalen Suggs at 89. We're kind of locked into that.
Yeah.
We got Josh Hart at 83. I think that's a good spot for him. I like Josh Hart. It's also for me, and so I think that we also just all look at this a little differently too. Like I think Barrett's ceiling is higher than a lot of these guys below him, but he's not as consistent, obviously, right? Like we don't see the consistency like we would see from a Cam Johnson or PJ Washington in their games, but I don't think their ceiling is as high as Barrett. Josh Hart is as consistent as it can come with what he's giving you, right? Like the effort, the rebounding, the defensive ability. I like him right here in this spot.
Josh Hart's probably my top 10 favorite players, just guys to root for because of how he plays and everything. But I think the thing with Josh Hart, which keeps him down here at 83, is the fact that you need an established team to have Josh Hart be like that guy. Josh Hart's not carrying a team, right? He's never going to be your not go-to option, but man, he's just like final boss role player, if that makes sense. He
Yeah,
just
like,
does
kind of like what we
Yeah,
said
I
about
feel-
Caruso. Like if he
Yeah.
was like a puzzle, if this was a puzzle piece guy list, he'd be in the top 20.
Yeah.
Levine is the
that-
ultimate ceiling pick here in this group because if Levine's at his best, he's way higher than this
Way
82,
higher.
but he hasn't been at his best consistently enough. So I think he just has to sit here and we have to wait and see, especially with him with a full year on a new team. Like, who knows? Like, maybe Levine is just an all-star level scorer again this year, but right now 82 feels about right, which is a sad drop for Zach Levine for where people thought about him in the league before. But
I would have him higher, but we won't argue right now. I get it right now. The results aren't there.
I think you guys were both too low on Hartenstein, to be honest. And I'm proudly have him at 81 in this list. This is
a fine spot.
He's had two back-to-back good years where he's been on contending teams and been really solid offensively, rebounding. He's not a sieve defensively by any stretch of the imagination. So I think that he's a good, solid player, and just where bigs are back in the league, he's a guy that you want on your team. The fact that the Thunder have him is ridiculous. Like they snuck him in there, but
yeah, the fact they robbed him. I mean, he's great. He's great for what he is. His ceiling's limited. Is that fair to say?
it is. Yes,
Yeah, definitely.
absolutely.
He's
But
kind
also,
of
if he was on a
piece guy
different
also.
team, would he have been? Because he really started popping off with the Knicks, and the people were really
Knicks.
excited about it, and then kind of put himself back into a role like with the Thunder, where he wasn't going to have to outsize his role. Like, say he was on the Trailblazers or something like that. Like, would we think higher of him with more to do? I think
I don't think so.
No, okay,
maybe a little bit, but I don't really think that much. I think we kind of know what Hartenstein is. Like, we've seen what he can do, but I think he's limited offensively.
I think the part of his game that got unlocked and allowed people to see how good of a player he was is his passing, which is underrated.
True.
And I think that comes out when you're surrounded by better players. So,
But if you play on the Thunder, you have to know how to pass. Everyone on that team can pass. It's ridiculous how they looked in the postseason.
Well, above him is a guy who has no problems offensively, at least a little bit more problems defensively. Valanciunas. I'm excited to see what he does this year. Again, like another guy who
got the Nuggets bump.
Yeah, a little bump. Him and Jokic together is two bigs. I'm interested to see how much they play together, how much how much they're spotting each other. But
Point guard Jokic.
Exactly.
You could play point guard Jokic with Valanciunas. Yeah, that's probably the best backup center they've had since they've had Jokic, right?
Yeah, honestly.
It has to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it was DeAndre Jordan for like 3 years. Like,
yeah, but
and they had
Not
not
Jokic.
a great DeAndre Jordan. No, but I'm saying
Jokic
that
was
as
the
like
backup
Yeah.
at the start.
True, yeah, true.
we got Brad Beal at 79. This is just us respecting Brad Beal still.
Mr.
I think.
No Trade.
I don't know if he's even at this point, but it's been such a weird last couple of years that I'm like, he's in the Levine range where I'm like, maybe he's way better than this, and it'll just change with a different situation there. But
he's a bucket still.
yeah,
when he wants to be, he's still a bucket.
This is an exciting guy on this list,
especially this year.
Guy.
Yeah, Andrew Nembhard at 78. I mean, obviously it's awful that Halliburton's out, but this could, like I think you alluded to it, guys, is that this could unlock something in Nembhard which we kind of saw in the playoffs. Nembhard, I mean, he's unbelievable, and this is a guy really where I think he could really jump up from this year if he has a lot more usage, if he can be that scorer. And the one thing I love about Nembhard, which kind of goes with all the guys on the Pacers team, he's just got that dog, man. He doesn't back down from anything, and I think that's really going to help Nembhard this year. I think Nembhard's sneaky most improved player too. Little sprinkle maybe sneaky.
Oh, I like that.
I like that.
Jalen Green at 77.
Big opportunity from himself. Big opportunity.
It's huge.
I mean, a polarizing player in the league.
Talent-wise, I have no problem with him being here. Like, he's talented. He's athletic as shit. Maybe he didn't mesh with Ime, but we'll see. He's playing alongside D Book now. Pretty crazy 1-2 combo.
it's hard, Dunny, to like justify Green at 77, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a guy we've seen just put up 40 points like it's nothing. And I think you're right where he has that opportunity now where he could, potentially be more consistent of a scorer, and he's not going to be the number one scoring option, right? I think
Yeah.
part of us
He had a lot of pressure
forget that.
last year.
Well, that's the thing with Houston. Houston was a good team, but they never had truly had that number one scoring option. They wanted Jalen Green to be it, and some nights he was, some nights he wasn't. So I think you're right, Dunny. This is a chance for him to really jump up and prove people, because there's nights we watch Jalen Green, and I'll tell you what, he doesn't look like 77. He looks like top 50. And then there's other nights where we forget he's on the Rockets. Now he's on a different team, bigger opportunity.
What are the odds that Jalen Green and Devin Booker get into a altercation on the bench this year? I feel like pretty high, like at least plus 300, plus 400.
Over under how many games until?
Over under how many? Ooh. I'd say 27 and a half. I'm setting it, and I'd go under.
I'm sprinkling that. I'm sprinkling that before I sprinkle the Nemhard most improved.
Jalen Green shoots like 12 shots in the first half, and Devin Booker just like shoves him and is like, "What the fuck are you doing, bro?" I could see that easily.
This could be the combo of guys where we actually see a teammate take the ball out of another teammate's hands. Like that's it could be one of those situations. Oh man.
Yeah.
All right,
77 though. Good spot. This is the last
76.
Dunny's own.
Go ahead, Dunny.
Celtics.
You're a new guy.
Anthony Simons. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I'm getting a little scared that we might not even be able to see him in a Celtics uniform, because this week the hotness of the trade rumors has been Walker Kessler and Yusuf Nurkic for Anthony Simons, which Kessler makes sense for the Celtics to add a guy like that. Nurkic, it would just be to make the money work. But anyway, we're talking about Simons here. I really like this guy. He's had some monster games against the Seas. We were talking about him before we started recording here. Steve, you mentioned it. Like, this is a guy who can just get going in a hurry, and he can go on a week stretch where he averaged 30 last year for the Blazers. It's going to be interesting to see him play alongside some better talent. Like, maybe he learns a thing or two from JB. I think just being a part of the Celtics organization, sometimes talented guys just get a bump when they feel a little more valued and think they might have some winning in their future. So I think this is a good spot. I think another guy who could end up higher, but I think this is perfect for him right now.
All right. Well, that's our list. We'll get it out to the world pretty soon. But we got three more chunks of it, and
it's gonna get harder.
It'll get more contentious. Harder and more contentious. Yeah. Dunny, do you want to get your old man rant in here? Or do you want to save it for next week?
We'll save it. Because I think some things might get added to it this week.
Can you give us like the 15-second like movie teaser trailer, like the one where I'm watching a game and they don't even go the full screen? It's just that little snippet, but you get the audio. Give us that.
Okay. It's funny because it's an old man rant, but it's about podcasts and ex-NBA players and some current NBA players.
I think I know the two players that were the impetus for this.
They're involved. I know that you know the two that I'm talking about, but it's broader than those two.
Okay.
Though.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll be looking forward to that. We're looking forward to the NBA season, as we know we're at about a month away, but it'll be here before we know it, and it's gonna be an exciting season. So, yeah. Great guys. This has been great. Thank you, Dunny. Thank you, Steve. We'll be back Western Conference next week, guys.
That's gonna
the West is gonna be tough. The East was easy. The East was easy. The West.
Yeah, I think we only yelled at each other once during the East.
Yeah.
West, I might need to soundproof my apartment for that episode.
It's gonna get crazy. I'm interested. The Lakers conversation is just good. I don't know where we're even gonna end up. I have no idea. I don't even know where I'm gonna end up yet. I still am like, the offseason survey, they didn't even commit to LeBron being on the Lakers, those GM, to start the year. We're less than a month away.
So what do we
So-
do with LA's? I don't want to get into LA right now.
We'll get into it next week.
All right. Thank you guys all for listening. Thank you to Trainwreck Sports. Follow us at Happy Hour Hoops 1 on all socials. We'll see you next time, guys.